Have you ever chosen silence? Have you ever chosen silence?
I mean, you knew you should say something important, something true, but you just didn't. Maybe you were afraid of what people would think. Maybe you felt like you weren't qualified enough, like you didn't have the right words or the right degree, so you stayed silent. If you've ever felt that way, I want you to listen closely. Today, we're looking at a story about two guys who should have stayed silent, but they just couldn't. It's a story about where unstoppable courage comes from, and it has nothing to do with being qualified. The source of unstoppable courage. Picture the scene: two fishermen, Peter and John, are on trial. They're standing before the most powerful people in their nation, the priests, the politicians, the experts. These are the guys who hold the power of life and death. And the experts are completely baffled. Why? Because these two fishermen, who the Bible calls unschooled ordinary men, are speaking with unshakable courage. They have no fancy degrees, no public speaking training, no special status. By every worldly standard, they were nobodies. Yet their confidence left the powerful speechless. So what was their secret? The Bible gives us the answer in one simple phrase. The leaders could tell that these men had been with Jesus. That's it. That's the source of their power. It wasn't a degree. It wasn't natural talent. It was their connection. Their courage wasn't learned in a classroom. It was caught by walking with Jesus. And here's the key for you and me. Your personal experience with God is far more powerful than your perfect explanation of God. You don't need all the answers to be a witness. You just need a story. 2, the pushback that proves your power. So, what happens when ordinary people speak with extraordinary courage? They get pushed back. The leaders saw the miracle but couldn't deny it. So, to keep their power, they did the only thing they could. They tried to silence Peter and John. They threatened them and ordered them to stop speaking about Jesus. And this is so important for us to understand. When people try to silence you for your faith, it's not because you're weak, it's because they're threatened. The hope you carry in Jesus is powerful, and it shakes up the world's systems built on fear. So if you face criticism, don't get discouraged. See it as a sign that you're on the right track. It's proof that you're making a real impact. 3, when silence isn't an option. This brings us to the ultimate choice. Threatened by the most powerful people in their world, Peter and John give one of the boldest answers in the entire Bible. They say, "You judge whether it's right to listen to you or to God. As for us, we cannot help speaking about what we have seen and heard." This isn't just courage, it's conviction. It's a response that comes from a place so deep that threats can't touch it. They're essentially saying, this isn't a debate for us. This is our reality. We experienced it, and it changed us so completely that staying silent is impossible. This same conviction is still changing lives today. Let me tell you a story about what that looks like. Her father was diagnosed with terminal cancer. Her family was thrown into crisis. So she made a huge sacrifice, spending the next decade working relentlessly to pay off their crushing debt. Her only goal? To finally win her mother's approval. But when the debt was finally gone, the only thing she felt was a deep, consuming resentment. She looked down on her poor family and her brother, who she felt had provided no practical help. But then came the turning point, not on a mountaintop, but quietly, right there in a church pew. The sermon wasn't just words, it was a mirror held up to her soul. She saw the ugly contradiction inside her, a deep-seated pride in her sacrifice, right alongside a crippling sense of worthlessness. And the gut punch? Realizing that in judging her own family, she had become the very thing she thought she opposed a self-righteous leader, just like the ones who crucified Jesus. Facing the truth was hard. Healing her family didn't happen overnight. It was a long process of admitting her own faults. But with support from her community and God's grace, she began to heal. And that's when she found her true voice. She could finally testify about what she had seen and heard. Her powerful testimony wasn't born from a perfect life, but from confronting her own brokenness. So, what's stopping you? Do you feel too ordinary? Peter and John were ordinary too. Are you afraid of what others will think? They faced that same fear. Real courage doesn't come from being special or qualified. It comes from your connection to Jesus. And the only thing you need to share is your own story. Think about it. What has God done in your life? What have you personally seen and heard? Your story, with all its messy and beautiful parts, is powerful. It's what someone out there needs to hear. And once you realize how much God has done for you, you won't be able to keep it to yourself.